He was a billionaire who lived in a huge house with walls taller than most buildings in the city. Every day, he moved through his life in a routine full of meetings, private jets, and people who often told him what he wanted to hear instead of the truth. He had everything money could buy, but somehow there was something missing. There was a quiet part of him that no luxury could touch, a part that wondered if there was anyone in the world who could show him honesty, care, or a simple human moment he couldn't buy. In the same city, not far from his mansion, lived a family that had very little. The father worked long hours, the mother had passed away, and their daughter helped care for her younger brother. Life was not easy for her. She woke up early to clean, cook, and make sure her brother had everything he needed. But despite the struggles, she carried herself with a quiet dignity and a kind heart. She had learned that small acts of care could mean a lot in a world where resources were scarce. It was a bright morning when everything changed. The daughter had spent a lot of her small savings on a special pastry for her younger brother's birthday. She had wanted to surprise him because he always had a smile ready for everyone, even when things were hard. She knew he loved sweet treats, and she had gone to the best bakery in the neighborhood, saving every coin for it. But on her way home, a sudden stumble caused the pastry to fall, ruining the decoration. She held it carefully in her hands, her heart heavy. She didn't have the money to buy another one. Returning the pastry to the bakery seemed like the only choice, though it hurt to do so. Meanwhile, the billionaire had finished a meeting that left him frustrated. He stepped out into the garden near the kitchen, needing a break from the endless chatter and flattery of people around him. He walked slowly, enjoying the rare peace that his own home offered. As he passed the kitchen window, he noticed something unusual. There was a young girl carrying a pastry, looking worried and uncertain. He was curious because no one in his mansion ever moved with such humility or concern over something so simple. The girl had stopped at the bakery door, hesitating. She looked at the ruined pastry and then at the cashier, unsure of how to explain her situation. Her eyes were gentle but anxious. The billionaire's interest grew. He moved closer, keeping himself unseen, wanting to understand what she was doing. He had seen countless people rush through life, taking things for granted, or being dishonest when it suited them. But something about this young girl's care caught his attention. After a moment, she spoke softly to the cashier, explaining that the pastry was damaged and she wanted to return it. There was no anger, no attempt to hide the truth, only honesty and responsibility. The billionaire was silent, amazed at her behavior. In a world full of appearances and pretenses, she was real, and it fascinated him. He decided to approach her. As he walked closer, the girl noticed him and instinctively straightened her back. There was something commanding about him, but he didn't seem harsh. Instead, there was curiosity in his eyes. "Why are you returning this?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. She looked at him and, without hesitation, explained that it was her brother's birthday pastry and it had been damaged by accident. She didn't have money to buy another one, so she was returning it. There was no shame in her tone, only honesty. The billionaire listened carefully, nodding as he understood. He could see the love in her actions, the way she thought of her brother before herself. After she spoke, he realized that this small act said more about her than words ever could. He noticed how carefully she held the pastry, how gently she spoke, and how her eyes reflected concern for someone else rather than herself. He saw a quality that was rare in his world of wealth and privilege: integrity. For a long moment he just watched. He wanted to know more about her, to understand the life that had shaped such a young person into someone so honest and caring. In his years, he had encountered people of all kinds, but few moved him in this way. He felt a strange pull, a desire to step into her world, even if just for a moment. He decided to speak again. "What's your name?" he asked gently. She hesitated for a second, surprised that someone like him cared to ask. Then, in a quiet voice, she gave her name. He nodded, committing it to memory. Her presence, so real and unpretentious, made the world outside seem distant and artificial. The cashier, who had been listening, began to smile. It was not every day that someone witnessed such a genuine interaction, and they could see that this girl had done nothing wrong but had acted with care and honesty. The billionaire, too, smiled in a small, private way, feeling a warmth he rarely allowed himself to experience. Then, without thinking too much, he asked a simple question, "Do you have any family?" The girl spoke about her younger brother and her father, and how they lived a simple life. There was no complaint in her voice, only a quiet strength and devotion. He listened, imagining a family bound not by wealth but by love and respect for each other. He realized that he had never really understood that kind of connection, despite having everything he could buy. He wanted to help, but he didn't want to embarrass her. So he simply watched as she carefully handed the pastry to the cashier, explaining again that she couldn't afford another. The cashier accepted it kindly, understanding her situation. The billionaire noticed how gracefully she accepted her circumstances without complaining, without seeking pity. As she turned to leave, he called out to her gently. She stopped and looked back. He gave her a small nod and a reassuring smile, something he rarely did. In that brief moment, a silent understanding passed between them. He knew he wanted to do something, though he wasn't yet sure what. But he also knew that her honesty and care deserved recognition, and he felt a responsibility to honor that. She walked away, unaware of how much she had moved someone who had everything yet lacked something so essential: genuine human connection. He remained at the window, watching her retreating figure, thinking about the strange and powerful way a simple act, returning a birthday pastry, could reveal so much about character, love, and integrity. That day, a quiet change began within him. He realized that his life, full of luxury and power, could still learn from someone so young and humble. And for the first time in a long while, he felt something deeper than curiosity or amusement. He felt respect and admiration, and a growing desire to see how her story unfolded, to witness the small, human moments that made life truly meaningful. Little did he know, this single moment, the way she returned that pastry, was about to start a chain of events that would change both their lives in ways neither of them could imagine. And all it had taken was honesty, care, and a simple act of love from a girl who only wanted to make her brother's birthday special. After that morning, the billionaire couldn't stop thinking about the girl. Her honesty and care had struck a chord deep inside him. He had seen many people in his life, but rarely anyone so genuine. While he moved through his day, surrounded by luxury and people who flattered him, his mind kept returning to her simple act of returning the birthday pastry. There was something about her that demanded attention, something beyond wealth or status. The next day, he decided to learn more about her. He didn't want to scare her or seem overbearing. Instead, he started with small gestures. He asked the maid, who had been working for his family for years, about her daughter. He learned about how she helped at home, her dedication to her younger brother, and her quiet strength. Every detail impressed him more. Here was a young girl, living in a modest home, carrying responsibilities that many adults would struggle with, yet she never complained. The billionaire wanted to see her again but didn't want to intrude. One afternoon, he walked through the garden where he had first noticed her, pretending to enjoy the greenery. As he looked toward the kitchen entrance, he saw her again. She was carrying a basket, helping her father sort out small household chores. She moved with care, focused on her tasks, yet every now and then, she glanced around as if hoping for something good to happen. There was a quiet hope in her eyes that drew him in further. He decided to approach her carefully, walking slowly so he wouldn't startle her. When she saw him coming, she stopped and bowed her head politely. He smiled gently, trying to appear friendly rather than intimidating. "I noticed how careful you are with everything you do," he said. "It's rare to see someone so responsible at your age." Her eyes widened slightly, and she blushed, not used to receiving praise, especially from someone so important. She thanked him politely and said she was just trying to help her family. Her humility was striking. The billionaire was amazed that she saw her daily tasks as normal, even though they reflected extraordinary character. Over the next few days, he observed her from a distance, noticing little things. How she shared her food with her younger brother, even when it meant eating less herself. How she tidied up their small home, making it neat and warm despite having little. How she managed to stay cheerful and kind, even in difficult circumstances. Each act made him admire her more. He realized that he wanted to be part of her life, to support her in a way that wouldn't make her feel embarrassed or indebted. One evening, as the sun was setting, he saw her sitting outside their modest home, her younger brother playing nearby. She looked tired but peaceful. He decided to speak to her, not about money or help, but about life and dreams. He asked her, "What do you hope for? What do you want for your brother and yourself?" She looked at him with a mixture of surprise and thoughtfulness. Her voice was soft but firm. "I just want my brother to be happy and to have opportunities one never had," she said. "I want him to have a life where he can smile without worry, and I hope I can do something good for him too." The billionaire was touched by her words. He realized that her dreams were simple, yet filled with purpose. They weren't about wealth or status, but about love, care, and opportunity. In that moment, he felt a connection that went beyond their differences. Here was someone who reminded him of what truly mattered, someone who valued honesty, family, and integrity above all else. He wanted to do something to help, but he didn't want it to feel like charity. He decided to offer guidance and mentorship, giving her the chance to learn and grow. He began leaving small gifts of encouragement, carefully chosen to suit her needs and interests. Books, school supplies, and little notes of encouragement arrived at her home. She was puzzled at first but felt grateful, sensing the thought behind each gesture. One day, he arranged to meet her formally, under the pretense of showing appreciation for her honesty. She was nervous, unsure of what to expect. When they met, he spoke kindly, explaining that he had noticed her dedication and care, and that he wanted to support her in a way that could help her family and her future. He emphasized that it was not charity, but recognition of her values and potential. She listened carefully, her eyes wide with surprise. She had never imagined that someone so powerful would see her, not for her background, but for her character. She felt a mix of gratitude, humility, and hope. The billionaire reassured her that he believed in her abilities and that he would help her develop skills and opportunities that could make a real difference in her life. As they spent more time together, she began to learn from him. He taught her about planning, responsibility, and decision-making. He showed her how small actions could have big consequences, both in business and in life. He encouraged her to think creatively and to dream beyond the limits she had accepted. Every lesson was shared in simple, understandable terms, so she could grasp and apply them immediately. The billionaire also observed how she applied these lessons in her daily life. She began to organize small activities for her younger brother, helping him learn and grow. She managed household tasks more efficiently, balancing responsibility with care. Her confidence grew, and with it, the billionaire's admiration. He could see that she was not only absorbing knowledge but also using it in meaningful ways. The girl, in turn, began to trust him. She shared her worries, small triumphs, and ideas for helping her family. The billionaire listened patiently, giving guidance without judgment. Their relationship became a quiet, powerful bond built on respect, trust, and understanding. It was unusual, perhaps even rare, but it worked because it was genuine. Days turned into weeks, and their connection deepened. He learned about her sense of humor, her empathy, and the way she approached challenges with determination rather than despair. She, in turn, learned that there were people in the world who could provide guidance and support without expecting anything in return. They were both learning from each other in different ways about life, values, and the importance of character. One afternoon, the billionaire invited her to a small project at his office. He wanted to show her the workings of his world, but in a way that was accessible and educational. She was nervous but excited. As she entered the office, she observed the fast pace and complex decisions being made. He guided her patiently, explaining things in a way she could understand. She asked questions, and he encouraged curiosity, showing that learning and growth were valuable at any age or background. He noticed her sharpness and ability to understand quickly. He realized that talent and potential are not determined by wealth or upbringing but by dedication and mindset. She absorbed the lessons eagerly, applying them in small projects he set up for her. He was impressed by her ability to adapt and think critically, and he began to see that her future held great promise. As the sun set, he walked her home, and they talked about her dreams and aspirations. She spoke about her brother, her family, and the desire to make life better for those she loved. He listened, offering encouragement and advice, making sure she felt capable and empowered. He wanted her to believe in herself as much as he believed in her. That evening, he returned home feeling a sense of fulfillment he hadn't experienced in years. Watching her grow, seeing her care for her family, and witnessing her integrity in action reminded him of what truly mattered. In her, he saw honesty, responsibility, and a heart full of love. It was a rare combination that could not be bought or taught. The billionaire realized that this connection was more than mentorship. It was a reminder of humanity, values, and the impact of simple, honest actions. Her act of returning a damaged birthday pastry had opened a door to a relationship that would change both their lives. It was a lesson in humility, trust, and the extraordinary power of small, genuine gestures. And he knew, deep down, that this was just the beginning of a journey that neither of them could have predicted. A journey that would lead to growth, understanding, and a bond neither wealth nor status could create. As time passed, the billionaire noticed more about her. The girl was not only responsible but also kind in ways that went unnoticed by most people. She helped neighbors, shared her meals, and even found ways to make her younger brother smile despite their small home and limited resources. He admired how she treated everyone with respect and care, whether it was her family, friends, or strangers. Her heart seemed bigger than her circumstances, and it reminded him that true wealth was not measured in money but in character. One afternoon, he decided it was time to offer more direct support. He wanted to do it without making her feel embarrassed or indebted. He invited her to his home under the pretense of showing appreciation for her honesty and hard work. She was nervous when she arrived, unsure of what to expect. She had never been inside a place so grand, and the marble floors, shining lights, and large paintings made her feel small. Yet, she held her head high, showing the same dignity she always carried. The billionaire greeted her warmly. "I wanted to show you how much I appreciate your honesty and your dedication," he said. "Not many people act with the integrity you have shown, and I want to help you develop your talents and opportunities for the future." She listened carefully, humbled by his words. She had never imagined that someone so wealthy and powerful would notice her life or want to support her. She thought it must be a mistake or a kind gesture without real meaning. But the sincerity in his eyes told her otherwise. She felt a mixture of gratitude, nervousness, and excitement. He explained that he would provide guidance, mentorship, and resources to help her and her family. He emphasized that this was not charity, but recognition of her values and potential. He wanted to help her develop skills that could change her future and allow her to create opportunities for herself and her brother. She felt a spark of hope she had not felt in a long time. Over the next weeks, they spent time together, learning and growing. He taught her about responsibility, planning, and thinking ahead. He showed her how to solve problems creatively and make decisions with care. She absorbed everything quickly, asking questions, sharing ideas, and showing an eagerness to learn. Her intelligence and determination impressed him, and he realized that her potential went far beyond what anyone had imagined. The girl also applied these lessons at home. She found ways to manage household chores more efficiently, support her father, and create a nurturing environment for her younger brother. She even came up with small ideas to help her family financially and practically. The billionaire was amazed at how quickly she applied what she learned, not for recognition, but to make life better for those she loved. It showed him that her character and intentions were genuine. One day, he invited her to visit a small project he was working on, to give her a glimpse of the business world. She was nervous, unsure of what to expect. As she observed, she noticed the complexity and fast pace of decisions, but he explained everything simply, guiding her step by step. She asked questions, and he encouraged her curiosity, making sure she understood that learning and growth were more valuable than simply doing things perfectly. Her quick thinking and insights impressed him, showing that she had natural talent and intelligence. At home, she shared her experiences with her younger brother, teaching him small lessons about life and responsibility. He watched her with admiration, not fully understanding the world outside but feeling the love and care she provided. Their bond grew stronger, and the billionaire saw how her guidance and care made a real difference in her family. The billionaire began to involve her in small philanthropic projects, allowing her to see how she could help others in her community. She showed compassion and creativity, finding ways to support those in need without expecting anything in return. Her actions were driven by empathy and a desire to make a positive impact. The billionaire was deeply impressed, realizing that she was not only learning from him, but also teaching him about the true meaning of kindness and generosity. He also noticed subtle changes in himself. Her presence reminded him of values he had forgotten amidst wealth and power. He began to enjoy life in simpler ways, appreciating small moments of honesty, laughter, and care. He realized that mentorship was not just about giving. It was about connecting, learning, and growing together. She had become a teacher in her own way, showing him the power of integrity, humility, and love. One evening, he invited her and her father for dinner at his home. It was a quiet meal with simple conversation, yet it was filled with warmth and connection. He wanted them to feel respected and valued, not overwhelmed by luxury. He spoke about life, challenges, and the importance of staying true to one's values. The girl listened carefully, absorbing his wisdom, and felt a sense of belonging she had never experienced before. After dinner, as they walked through the garden, the billionaire asked her about her dreams. She spoke about her brother, her family, and the desire to create a better future. She expressed a wish to study, gain knowledge, and make a difference in her community. Her words were simple but powerful, reflecting a deep sense of purpose. The billionaire felt a surge of pride and admiration. He realized that helping her was not just about supporting one person but about nurturing a future leader, someone who could make meaningful change in the world. He offered to fund her education and provide resources for her family's well-being. She was initially hesitant, concerned that accepting help might feel wrong or that she might disappoint him. He reassured her gently, explaining that he wanted to give her the tools to succeed, not hand her a life she hadn't earned. She felt a mixture of gratitude, hope, and determination. It was an opportunity she could never have imagined, and she vowed to use it wisely. The billionaire also saw the impact on her younger brother. He noticed how the girl's guidance and care brought out confidence, curiosity, and joy in him. The small family unit, once limited by circumstance, began to thrive. He understood that this support would ripple outward, influencing their lives for years to come. It was not wealth alone that mattered, but the nurturing of values, responsibility, and love. Over time, the girl's confidence grew. She began to take initiative, plan activities, and even teach small lessons to others in her community. She inspired those around her with her kindness, intelligence, and dedication. The billionaire watched with pride, realizing that he had discovered something rare, a person whose character could inspire change beyond their immediate circle. She was a reminder that integrity, love, and care were more valuable than any fortune. As weeks turned into months, their bond deepened. He continued to guide her, providing opportunities to learn, explore, and grow. She trusted him more each day, sharing her ideas, challenges, and successes. He learned from her resilience, creativity, and empathy. Together, they formed a unique relationship based on respect, trust, and the shared desire to make a positive impact. One morning, he watched her help her brother prepare for school, making sure he had everything he needed. Her dedication and love were evident in every small gesture. He realized that these simple, genuine moments of care were what truly mattered in life. It was not the grand gestures or luxurious gifts, but the consistent acts of love, honesty, and responsibility that shaped character and created meaningful impact. He also reflected on how her presence had changed him. He had gained a renewed sense of purpose, joy, and appreciation for life's simple truths. He understood that his role was not only to guide her but to learn from her as well. Their relationship had become a partnership, a mutual journey of growth, learning, and human connection. That evening, as the sun set over the city, he watched her and her brother laughing and playing in the garden. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment and hope. He knew that the investment he was making in her life was more than financial. It was a commitment to nurturing integrity, compassion, and potential. He understood that small acts of honesty and care, like returning a birthday pastry, could open doors to extraordinary possibilities. The billionaire realized that he had discovered something far more valuable than wealth or power. He had found a young person whose character and heart could change the world in meaningful ways. And he knew that supporting her journey would not only transform her life, but also inspire others to value honesty, responsibility, and love above all else. It was a rare and precious connection, one that neither of them would ever forget, and it had all begun with a single act of integrity and care. Life had started to change slowly for the girl and her family, but she still faced everyday challenges. Even with the billionaire's support, there were times when money was tight or small problems arose at home. But she met each obstacle with patience and determination, never letting despair take over. She had learned to manage responsibility with love and care, and she inspired those around her to do the same. One morning, as she helped her younger brother prepare for school, she noticed a problem with their small home. A leak had developed in the ceiling, and water was starting to drip near the kitchen area. Her father was worried but unsure what to do. She took the lead, thinking quickly and calmly. She contacted a local handyman, explained the problem, and worked out a temporary solution to protect their belongings. The billionaire, who had been observing her progress quietly, was impressed by her problem-solving skills. He saw how she applied the lessons he had taught her in real-life situations, not just in theory. Later that week, he invited her to his office for a meeting. He wanted to discuss her progress and offer guidance on how to handle unexpected challenges. She was nervous but confident, ready to share her experiences. He listened carefully as she explained the leak situation and how she had managed it. He praised her initiative and resourcefulness, reminding her that leadership was not about power or control, but about care, responsibility, and quick thinking. He also encouraged her to think about long-term goals for her family. "You've handled this situation wonderfully," he said. "Now think about how you can prevent problems before they happen. Planning ahead is just as important as solving problems as they arise." She nodded, absorbing his advice and realizing that he wasn't just helping her in the present, but preparing her for a future where she could face challenges with confidence. As days went by, the billionaire introduced her to new experiences that expanded her understanding of the world. He invited her to art exhibitions, community projects, and small business meetings. Each event taught her something new about creativity, responsibility, and decision-making. She was fascinated by the variety of people and ideas she encountered. He guided her, explaining concepts simply and making sure she felt comfortable asking questions. At home, she applied these lessons in small ways. She organized a community cleanup with other children in her neighborhood, teaching them teamwork and responsibility. She helped her father and younger brother plan meals and manage resources efficiently. Even the smallest victories, like finding a cheaper supplier for household items or helping a neighbor, became meaningful lessons in resourcefulness and empathy. The billionaire observed these actions, realizing that she was using her growing knowledge to improve her own life and the lives of others. One day, a small crisis arose. A friend of her younger brother had fallen ill, and the family didn't have immediate access to proper care. The girl took initiative, contacting the right people, arranging transportation, and ensuring her friend received attention quickly. She managed the situation calmly, making sure everyone involved knew what to do. The billionaire was deeply impressed by her composure and quick thinking. He realized that her ability to act decisively and with compassion was rare and remarkable. He decided it was time to expand her learning further. He arranged for her to attend workshops and short courses in areas like problem-solving, leadership, and community service. She was thrilled but also nervous about balancing her responsibilities at home. He reassured her, emphasizing that growth often comes with managing multiple responsibilities, and that she was more than capable of handling them. She gained confidence in her abilities and looked forward to applying new skills in practical ways. The girl began to take on small leadership roles within her neighborhood. She coordinated community events, helped families in need, and organized educational activities for children. Her reputation as someone reliable and caring grew, and more people began to look up to her. The billionaire saw the positive ripple effect of his mentorship, realizing that supporting someone with integrity and compassion could influence not just one life but many. Meanwhile, he continued to teach her about life beyond her immediate circumstances. He discussed ethics, decision-making, and the importance of maintaining values even when faced with difficult choices. She listened carefully, asking questions and sharing her thoughts. He realized that she had a strong moral compass, and his guidance only served to sharpen it. She was learning to navigate the world confidently while staying true to herself. One afternoon, as they walked through the city, he asked her about her dreams for the future. She spoke about continuing her education, helping her family, and making a difference in her community. Her words were simple yet powerful, reflecting a deep sense of purpose. The billionaire was inspired by her vision. He realized that supporting her was not just about giving resources but about empowering her to fulfill her potential and create positive change. He began to include her in more complex projects, allowing her to make decisions and see the consequences of her choices. She learned to think strategically, manage risks, and balance short-term needs with long-term goals. Her confidence grew, and she began to see herself as capable of shaping her own future. The billionaire watched with pride, knowing that he was helping cultivate not just knowledge, but character and resilience. At home, her family noticed the changes in her. Her father was proud of her maturity and leadership. Her younger brother admired her and tried to emulate her dedication and care. The household became more organized and harmonious, with everyone contributing to the family's well-being. The billionaire realized that his support had created a foundation for lasting positive change, not just temporary assistance. One evening, they sat together discussing challenges and successes. She shared a recent experience where she had helped a neighbor resolve a problem, applying lessons from her mentorship. He listened attentively, offering guidance and encouragement. They laughed and reflected on the growth she had achieved. He felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing that he had witnessed and supported meaningful progress. As weeks turned into months, the girl's confidence and skills continued to grow. She began to mentor other children in her neighborhood, teaching them problem-solving, responsibility, and kindness. Her influence spread quietly but powerfully, creating a community that valued care, integrity, and mutual support. The billionaire observed this transformation with admiration, realizing that he had discovered someone truly exceptional. He also reflected on the changes within himself. His connection with the girl had rekindled values he had long forgotten: empathy, humility, and the importance of nurturing potential in others. He found joy in small victories, in seeing her succeed, and in witnessing the positive impact she had on those around her. He understood that true fulfillment came from helping others grow and achieve their dreams. One morning, he saw her helping her younger brother with schoolwork, patiently explaining concepts and encouraging him to do his best. Her dedication and care were evident in every gesture. He realized that these small, consistent acts of love and guidance were what shaped character and created meaningful change. He felt proud and hopeful, knowing that she would continue to grow and inspire others. The billionaire also began to plan for the future, considering ways to provide long-term support without taking away her independence. He wanted her to feel empowered, not dependent. He discussed education, opportunities, and life skills with her, ensuring that she would have the tools to succeed even without his direct involvement. She listened carefully, absorbing each lesson and preparing herself for the future. As the sun set over the city, he watched her and her brother playing and laughing together. He felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that his support had contributed to their happiness and growth. He understood that small acts of care, guidance, and mentorship could have a profound impact, shaping lives in ways that money alone could never achieve. The billionaire realized that the girl's journey had become more than just a story of support and mentorship. It was a testament to the power of integrity, compassion, and determination. Her honesty, which had first drawn his attention when she returned a damaged birthday pastry, had opened the door to a relationship that would change both their lives forever. He knew that the lessons she learned and the values she embodied would continue to influence others, creating a ripple effect of positivity and growth. In the quiet moments, he reflected on how much he had learned from her. Her resilience, empathy, and unwavering commitment to her family had reminded him of the importance of human connection. He realized that mentorship was not a one-way street. It was a journey of learning, sharing, and growing together. Their bond had become a powerful example of how guidance, support, and genuine care could transform lives and create lasting impact. And so, life continued to evolve for the girl and her family. She faced challenges, celebrated victories, and grew stronger each day. The billionaire remained a steady presence, offering guidance, resources, and encouragement, while also learning from her humility, determination, and kindness. Their story was a reminder that integrity, love, and care were the most valuable assets in life, capable of creating extraordinary change from the simplest acts. Months had passed since the billionaire first noticed the girl returning the damaged birthday pastry. Her life had changed quietly but meaningfully, and she had grown stronger, more confident, and wiser. Her younger brother had become happier and more curious about the world, encouraged by her guidance. Her father felt pride and gratitude for how she had taken responsibility, making their small family feel stronger than ever. And the billionaire, who had quietly supported her, watched these changes with deep satisfaction, realizing that his small acts of mentorship had created a ripple effect of positivity. One morning, the girl woke up with an idea. She wanted to do something special for her family, a gesture that would show love and appreciation for all their support and sacrifices. She remembered the birthday pastry that had first brought her and the billionaire together and thought of recreating the moment with a real surprise for her brother and father. She spent the morning preparing, using what little resources she had but applying creativity and care. She made a simple but beautiful cake, decorated it herself, and planned a small gathering in their modest home. The billionaire, who had been watching her growth from a distance, noticed her effort. He could see that she had learned not just from his guidance, but from her own experiences and her determination to make life better for those around her. He felt proud and inspired. He decided to remain unseen for now, allowing her to take the lead and show her own initiative, knowing that she had gained confidence and skill to handle this task independently. When her younger brother came home from school, he was surprised and delighted by the sight of the cake and the small setup. He laughed and hugged her, unaware of the depth of her planning and care. Her father, too, was touched by her thoughtfulness, seeing the love and effort she had put into this simple gesture. The room was filled with warmth, laughter, and gratitude, creating a moment of connection that was more valuable than any material wealth. The billionaire observed quietly, understanding that the true lesson here was not in money or influence, but in love, responsibility, and the simple joy of making others happy. He had seen her grow from a young girl handling small hardships into a capable, compassionate, and inspiring young woman. Every lesson he had taught her had taken root, but it was her own determination and integrity that had made the difference. Over the next few weeks, the billionaire took the next step. He arranged for her to attend a special educational program that would allow her to explore her interests and develop skills that could shape her future. She was nervous but excited, realizing that opportunities she had only dreamed of were now within reach. He emphasized that this was not a handout, but a chance to apply her abilities and grow further. She felt a deep sense of responsibility, understanding that this was both an honor and a challenge. As she attended the program, she continued to manage her household responsibilities with care. Her father and brother helped where they could, learning from her guidance and leadership. She taught her brother small lessons about life, responsibility, and kindness, showing him the value of effort and integrity. The billionaire observed from a distance, impressed by her ability to balance growth, education, and family duties. She was applying everything she had learned in real life, demonstrating wisdom beyond her years. One day, a small challenge arose. A neighbor faced a difficult situation, and the girl took it upon herself to help. She coordinated with local support services, organized resources, and ensured that the family received assistance quickly and effectively. Her actions reflected not only her learning but also her innate sense of empathy and responsibility. The billionaire was amazed at how naturally she handled complex problems, showing leadership without seeking attention or recognition. Her success began to inspire others in the community. Children looked up to her, learning from her example. Adults respected her advice and guidance, noticing her maturity and capability. The ripple effect of her growth became evident as small acts of kindness and problem-solving spread throughout the neighborhood. The billionaire realized that supporting someone with character and integrity could influence far more than he had imagined. One life, nurtured properly, could impact many others in profound ways. As time went on, the billionaire invited her and her family to his home for a special event. He wanted to formally recognize her achievements and dedication. She was nervous about the grandeur of the occasion but also proud of how far she had come. The event was simple but meaningful, emphasizing appreciation, respect, and encouragement rather than luxury or display. He spoke about her growth, her determination, and the way she had positively impacted her family and community. Her parents listened with pride, realizing the significance of her journey. After the event, the billionaire spoke to her privately. "You have grown so much," he said, "not because of what I gave you, but because of your choices, your care, and your commitment. I am proud to have been a part of your journey, but the credit is yours. You have shown that integrity, compassion, and determination can create remarkable change." She listened, humbled and grateful. She realized that his support had been a guiding light, but it was her own effort, character, and love for her family that had brought her this far. She felt empowered, ready to take the next steps in her life and create opportunities not just for herself, but for those around her. The billionaire saw in her eyes a spark of independence and confidence, knowing that she would continue to thrive without needing constant guidance. In the following months, she began to apply her knowledge in new ways. She started small projects to help her community, organized educational sessions for children, and offered guidance to families in need. Her efforts were quiet but effective, building a network of support and inspiration. The billionaire observed these actions, realizing that her influence was growing organically. She was becoming a leader not through wealth or power, but through character and compassion. He also noticed changes in himself. Her example reminded him of the importance of empathy, humility, and human connection. He began to appreciate moments of genuine care and honesty, finding joy in the small, meaningful interactions that had once seemed insignificant. He realized that mentorship was not just about giving resources, but about fostering growth, trust, and values that could last a lifetime. One day, the girl shared a new idea with him. She wanted to establish a small program to teach younger children in her neighborhood about responsibility, kindness, and problem-solving. He listened carefully and offered guidance on how to structure it, ensuring that it would be sustainable and impactful. She took the lead, organizing volunteers, planning activities, and managing the program herself. Her leadership and initiative impressed him, showing that she had internalized the lessons he had taught and was applying them creatively. Her family continued to thrive alongside her growth. Her younger brother became more confident and curious, inspired by her example. Her father felt pride and relief, seeing his daughter take charge and make life better for everyone. The household was filled with warmth, laughter, and a sense of shared purpose. The billionaire watched from afar, feeling a sense of fulfillment that he had never experienced before. He understood that true wealth was measured not by material possessions, but by the positive impact one could have on others. As the seasons changed, the girl's influence and accomplishments became well known in her community. She had earned respect and admiration not through privilege, but through integrity, hard work, and compassion. The billionaire knew that he had witnessed something extraordinary, a life transformed not just by opportunity, but by character and choice. She had become a living example of how small acts of honesty, care, and dedication could lead to meaningful change. One evening, as he reflected on their journey, he remembered the first moment he had noticed her. the day she returned the damaged birthday pastry. He realized that a simple act of honesty and responsibility had opened the door to a relationship that changed both their lives. It had taught him about patience, humility, and the power of human connection. It had allowed him to witness the growth of a young person who would make a lasting difference in the world. He understood that her story was far from over. She would face new challenges, take on greater responsibilities, and continue to inspire others. But he also knew that she had the strength, wisdom, and integrity to succeed. The bond they had formed would remain, a quiet but powerful reminder of the transformative power of guidance, mentorship, and trust. In the end, the girl had not only grown into a capable and compassionate young woman, but she had also created a better life for her family and a positive impact on her community. The billionaire, too, had grown, learning that true fulfillment comes from supporting and nurturing others with care and respect. Their journey was a testament to the extraordinary potential within each person when honesty, love, and dedication guide their actions. And so, life moved forward. The girl continued to pursue her dreams, help those around her, and live with integrity. Her family thrived, her community benefited, and the billionaire felt content knowing that a simple act, the returning of a birthday pastry, had sparked a story of hope, growth, and lasting human connection. It was a reminder that the smallest gestures, when guided by honesty and care, could change lives in ways that were both unexpected and extraordinary.